Hello, beautiful souls. Elena Fouché here. Boundaries and people pleasing and being able to say no and yes at the right times. Someone recently was bringing up that idea of the sacred yes and the sacred no as a way of thinking about how we're setting our boundaries. This is a beautiful concept. So, one of the things that a lot of us have a hard time with is saying no when we don't want to do something. Right? And for some people, it's also saying yes when they do want to do something, but they feel like they shouldn't. But let's work with saying no. Let's just pick one of them. This idea of the sacred yes and the sacred no is the idea that when we're setting boundaries, when we're saying no, that we can treat that as a sacred act. It becomes a sacred no. Why is it sacred? Because what we're doing is we're taking care of ourselves. We're being compassionate to ourselves. So the sacred no is me saying no to something when I realize that, you know what? This is not actually in alignment with me. This thing that I'm saying no to, I'm saying no because it doesn't feel good to me. It feels draining or tiring, out of alignment. It feels uncomfortable. Any sort of mental, emotional, physical response that's like, don't want to do this. Me saying no is taking care of myself. So it becomes a sacred act. It's a compassionate act. This is beautiful. And of course, you can also view that when you say yes as a sacred yes. If I'm having a hard time saying yes to something, I can view it as a sacred act because I'm saying yes to something that feels really good and feels really right. Right? So it works both ways. But let's just look at the sacred no again, because I feel like for me and a lot of us, that's really hard. Because if I'm saying no to something, one of the things that it feels like I'm doing is I'm saying no to someone. Like someone's asking me to do something and I'm saying no to them. And so the first thing to think about or feel into is, are you saying no to them? Or are you saying no to what they're asking? And that kind of sounds like a silly difference, but let's say my friend Jane asks me to take her to the grocery store. If I say, no, Jane, I don't want to take you to the grocery store, I'm not saying, I feel like I want to say yes because I want her to be happy, right? And if I say no, I feel like I'm making her unhappy. Really though, what I'm saying no to is not her. I'm saying no to this act. I'm saying no to taking her to the grocery store. So this is the first thing to unweave, to parse out is, okay, unravel that I'm saying no, not to her. I'm not saying no to Jane. I'm saying no to what she's asking me for. This is helpful, right? Stop conflating the person with the thing that they're asking, the person with the action. The second thing that's really helpful to me is to remember that that sacred no, of saying, no, I don't want to do this. No, this feels bad. No, this is not in alignment. No, this is not something I want to do. The other side of that is also a sacred yes. Because if I'm saying, no, Jane, I don't want to do this action, I don't want to take you to the grocery store, I don't want to do this thing, then that is giving me time, space, and energy to say yes to something else. So if I take that sacred no, and I say no to something that doesn't feel in alignment, then what I can do instead is do a sacred yes. So I can use that time to do something that is in alignment, that does feel good, that is energy giving, enlivening. Maybe I go and rest and take a nap, whatever it is. So this is one way that we can take the difficulty of saying no and turn it into a saying yes. If I'm saying no to this, what am I saying yes to? And so these are really two things that I feel like are helpful. So the takeaway here is, one, to unravel what you're saying no to. I'm not saying no to Jane. I'm not saying no to the person. I like the person. Fundamentally, I love this person, or I at least like them. I'm not saying no to them. I'm saying no to what they're asking, right? So I don't say, no, Jane, I don't like you. I say, no, thank you to doing this act. And then the second thing is allowing myself the wisdom that this sacred no means I have the opportunity to make a sacred yes. That this no is also a yes. The sacred no turns into a sacred yes. And so then it's up to me, like, to do something that is an alignment, to do something that is self-compassionate, resting, or some other activity that I'm actually wanting to do. Maybe it's even with her. Who knows? Doesn't matter though. Just remembering that the sacred no is also potentially a sacred yes. All right. Hope that helps. Take care and see you next time.